going back to his decency, there's like even examples of him talking about when he's saying, I don't want to see the expression of somebody who I do something decent for, because he does do things decent. Like when he steals the horses from Christian Bale and his son at the beginning of the movie, he ends up leaving them.
Yeah.
So like he did something decent, but he didn't stick around to watch their expressions. So that way he still feels like he's a bad man. And then whenever he runs away after he kills the Indians, he ends up leaving the shotgun he took to leave them with the shotgun so they can protect themselves.
Yeah.
So that's him also like leaving something behind, doing something decent, but not sticking around to watch, their facial expressions. So then he starts to he realizes how good it feels to be a good man.
Yeah. No, and I think you start, I think part of the other reason that Ben Wade, I also think that he's just getting kind of annoyed with his crew. Like his right-hand man is just clearly like, he walks the thin line of ride or die / suck up.
Mm.
So I think, and there's one scene after they just robbed the cart and they just, walked away with a bunch of money. Then they ride into town after they've sent the marshals or the bounty hunters like on a fool's errand. And they're at the bar and he's pretty much explaining to his crew why he killed somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And he gives some type of Bible passage where it's pretty much like, a man that like opens his mouth too wide is a fool and, deserves to die. And while he's saying that passage, he's got his right-hand man, Charlie Prince, going, amen. Like, you're right. And he just like keeps interjecting and he like keeps looking at him like, oh my God. Like,
and maybe he was cool with killing his crew because his crew were starting to like disrespect his leadership. Like they weren't ride or die. Like,
they're saying,
Charlie Prince was.
I could do this. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So maybe he's seeing his crews falling apart. He's like has the signs that they're not really going to stick around for him anymore.
Yeah. Or they're just kind of slipping. Like, I don't know. But I don't know. I always thought that was like kind of a interesting take. Like not only is he maybe getting bored with just the lifestyle of like constantly being on the run and doing terrible things, but more than anything, he's just kind of annoyed with these guys. Like, God, these guys, like they're just animals. Like they're not very interesting to talk to. Like they don't share like the same poetic and philosophical look that Ben Wade has. So I can't imagine him like being able to have like an interesting, intelligent conversation with anybody in that crew.
Yeah, right.
Because this guy, he's an artist and he says he's only read the Bible once. I don't know. That sounds like some BS to me.
He knows
he's been quoting the Bible pretty much the whole movie.
Right.
And he's a philosophical guy. Like he remembers like women from San Francisco with beautiful eyes. And
I think that might be also why he ends up helping them because he's kind of relating to them because he sees that vengeance or like you got that edge in Christian Bale's son's eyes. He sees it like he kind of sees himself in his son. Yeah. And then he also in Christian Bale's wife, he like sees that girl that he met in San Francisco or whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean? He like maybe he relates to them. That's why he starts to like turn to want to help them because he can just relate to them a little bit more.
Yeah, because I think he recognizes the beauty and like the struggle of being good. He maybe like throughout his whole life he's kind of found that lifestyle disgusting. But the more that he keeps killing and the more families that he destroys, like maybe it actually is starting to weigh on his conscience. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. Like I think that's just like how the redeeming arc of his character is like pretty well illustrated.
Because there's even like, like you were saying, I agree that he's probably dealing with the evil world by being evil. Like there's no way to get around it. Mm-hmm. That's what he believes. Until he finally sees Christian Bale's character just stick with his guns and do what's right. Yeah. Because he was hired to do a job. He's going to finish the job and he's not going to do anything. He's not going to give up and he has integrity. And so whenever they're sitting around waiting for the time so they can go run to the train, he draws a picture of him sitting there with his gun looking out the window on the first page of the Holy Bible. Mm-hmm. It's like this guy is a holy man. Like this guy is a representative of what this book is about. Yeah. So like being a good man, having integrity, doing the right thing all the time, sticking with your guns through the struggle.
Yeah. And I think one of the main things that stuck with Wade is whenever he's trying to bribe Christian Bale's character and he's saying like, hey, $1,000, all you got to do is just walk out of here. Like, I promise. Like, I really will pay you.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell, like, you know, he's probably being pretty serious. Like, that's a real legit offer. And Christian Bale, like, looks at him and he's like, what would I mean, how do you expect me to explain that to people?
Yeah.
And that kind of hits him. He was like, why do you care? But he does. Like, he wants his sons to be respected and, like, the life that they, you know, go into moving forward.
Yeah, he wants his family to be honorable.
Yeah, he doesn't want them to just be sellouts. Like, oh, like, you know, you got this big ranch because you let a guy that murdered hundreds of people, I'm sure, like, just get away.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, you're a coward. And so Russell Crowe probably just, you know, saw that and was like, huh, like, a man with honor, truly.